This Celtics team is one of the best teams I've ever seen. Going on to win the NBA Finals, me and a couple others decided to do a no money spent 60 to 99 overall challenge with this Celtics team. And I'm a sucker for all around 6'8 builds, so Jason Tatum felt right for me. I admit I did spit out my drink watching him do the corniest shit possible after winning the finals, but as a player, I've always enjoyed watching his game. With that Celtics lineup, he plays really well in his role, and if the team needs him to step up, he usually does. For instance, game 3 when KP was rolled out, him and JB both had 30 after JT scored under 20 in the first 2 wins. He just doesn't need to be that dominant scorer with the starting 5 being healthy and KP playing the way he was. Throughout the playoffs, while KP was hurt, he was doing big things in all categories, including scoring in a variety of different ways, rebounding, and getting assists. Translating that to 2K has been easy for me even at a lower overall. A defensive 6'8 with a longer wingspan has been dominant all year in 2K24. With that being said, drop a like on today's video and subscribe for more unique content like this. Let's hop in the builder to lab the best possible Jason Tatum build that we can. So first we're going shooting guard. I know he's been at power forward literally all playoffs long because, you know, due to the lineup, but I'm going shooting guard because if I'm grinding from 60 overall, I'm not waiting to get pro dribble style. Shooting guards and point guards get pro dribble style off the rip. So I'm not gonna have my speed with ball up, and I don't want to focus on my speed with ball, have to focus on my speed with ball when I could focus on other things like scoring attributes early on. So I'm going shooting guard, but I will still get put at, you know, the small forward-ish or maybe even power forward position. We're going 6'8". I know some people are saying he's taller than 6'8", but the internet still says he's 6'8", and the internet says he's 209 pounds, but I wanted to go up to 215 just to get that 86 strength for the gold back down punisher. And the internet also says his wingspan is 6'11", but I am going 7'2" to get, you know, the good rebounding attributes, and I wanted to really get that 90 mid-range rating. It's always good to have a longer wingspan in 2K no matter what. But on to the build. On to the finishing, he is a really good slasher, so we had to get contact dunks on here. That's why we went 87 driving dunk in the 75 vertical. You actually can go up to an 89 dunk and get even more dunk packages, but I really wanted that 80 layup to have, you know, those good Euro steps, scoop, and floater animations, because he's really good at layup in the ball too. 40 standing dunk to get the 1 standing dunk package that's also really cheap, coming up to a 40, and an 85 post control because he is really good out of the post. For shooting, I know he hasn't had the best final shooting or even playoff shooting, so I did go 82 3-point rating. I thought about going 76 or 78, but one finals and playoffs run where he's just shooting iffy really isn't justifiable to take him under an 82. I thought an 82 was good to get gold claymore, and mid-range at 90 he is really good from you know, mid-range, and that really helps with the post fades and all that. We get Hall of Fame, post fade phenom, all these post scoring badges, and all of these mid-range shooting badges. For ball handle, we are going 85. If you go under 85, like 80, you still get really good animations, but you get slower speed boost. 85 is the minimum to get the good speed boost. That's why some people, I say they have like an 83 ball handle or an 80. They have the same animations equipped, but they're still getting some sluggish animations coming out of the speed boost because you have under an 85 ball handle. It's an unknown or unlisted threshold. You have to have an 85 ball handle to get the good speed boost. Now, if you do go under, you can build a little bit of takeover and then get good speed boost, or, you know, if you do have takeover, but to avoid the headache, man, of getting the slow speed boost, go 85 ball handle on your builds. 75 passing accuracy because the man is getting assist. I wish I could actually take this higher to like an 86. I looked at a bunch of different ways to make this build, but 75 to get silver break starter because we are going to be cleaning up the glass on this build. He is a good rebounder, a good passer, a good slasher, and good post fade scorer. So it's really hard to make a Jason Tatum build in this year's game. And for defense, he is still a solid two-way player. 85 perimeter. He's not the best, you know, defender, but he isn't like bad at defense either. He's 6'8 with some good perimeter defense, so 85 felt justifiable. 68 block because he gets a block here and there, but I couldn't justify a 78 block with silver chase down artist. I think 68 does him really good. And I went 70 offensive rebound and 85 defensive rebound because he's more of like a do-it-all 6'8. Like he can, you know, rebound, play defense, pass the ball handle, score in the post, score in the mid-range. And since he has so many dominant, like, good pieces around him, he doesn't have to score the ball a lot. Like game 1 and game 2, I think he had under 20 points, but he was still doing his job rebounding and assisting the ball. So looking over his stats over this playoff run and this finals run, I felt like this build with these attributes replicated the best I could to get a Jason Tatum build. These are my attributes starting. Luckily stamina is cheap, so that wasn't a tough task to tackle. After that, it was a long battle and a lot of games lost lost. The good thing is I'm with the homies that always have good vibes. Everyone understood that we were 60 overall, so the expectations were low and we were still having fun. This was the ugliest of the gameplay, and the only clips I really could grab were catch and shoot shots with my 61 overall 3-point. This is the jump shot that I was using at the time, and I'll be sure to update you guys with the jump shots as I go on. All of these games were live streamed over on J-Mac's channel, and he still live streams the games every time we load up together, so if you want to see our journey live still, you can still tune in to those streams over there. So to start, I was only capable of hitting some open catch and shoot shots. The dope thing about 6'8" though is post control is still cheap. So with my 61 dunk and my 61 3-point rating, I could also get 81 post control added to the arsenal for very cheap. It was here that I was able to get some post scoring badges, including gold post spin technician. I was then able to create an opportunity myself if my matchup was smaller or weaker than me by throwing them out the way. On top of that, I then got lethal zones in both of the corners for my catch and shoot shots, and I felt like the build and methods to score was already coming together nicely. I then focused on getting my mid-range to a 75 to get a jump shot base and releases with an A+ speed. The worst thing about having those low ratings is there's no good jump shot that's fast enough to be effective against a closing out defender. So I threw on this jump shot here, and me and my boys hit the red. At this time, I had a solid mid-range and post control rating to be able to be a bucket in a one-on-one situation. I had an A+ speed jump shot to hit shots when a defender was lacking, and when I took my man to the post, he was having trouble guarding me, so I was drawing double teams and breaking down defenses at such a low overall. And the lethal zones in both corners definitely bailed me out because I would not be that comfortable shooting without them. But nonetheless, these are clips, and if you can see, we are getting our ass beat. I was playing okay and having fun while doing it, but if you're starting from rock bottom, you're gonna have a lot of losses and a lot of ugly games. What makes or breaks hooping or any video game for me though is who I'm playing with, and since I was with easygoing teammates that support each other through a lot, I wasn't frustrated with losing at all. We then came to the conclusion that if we want to excel at getting our myplayer up the fastest, we need to run ranked pro-am, as it's the best way for stacking VC quickly. I then made a 3v3 pro-am team, made the jerseys and arena, and we got to work. Here I was a couple days in, so I was getting really used to my jump shot timing, and I was even labbing up post moves in the Gatorade facility. I was labbing up what the community calls old head moves like post fades, shimmy fades, hop shots, and more, and you'll see that as I get better as the game goes on. I had also got my offensive rebounding up to the 60s because my teammates were having a tough time shooting, as we all were because we were such low overall. So being able to get offensive rebounds on a 6'8" was huge for our team moving forward. So after all these attributes were coming together, after labbing up a completely new game style, not only because I was forced to, but also to replicate real NBA gameplay, our team started to hit a groove. Defense wasn't always pretty because we didn't have the attributes or speed that we wanted, but offense started to come together a lot easier after learning just the basics of non-cheesy post scoring. And when I say cheesy, I'm talking about those OG toxic drop stepping post scores. After labbing these moves and getting comfortable scoring out of the post, I then felt it was best to upgrade my mid-range to a 79 to not only get better jump shots again, but also start the grind for gold post fade phenom to upgrade my post scoring bag. And since the VC is so good in quick 3-on-3 pro-am games, I was able to get a 75 ball handle to be able to start to cook with low rated dribble moves. I used mostly Jason Tatum dribbling animations, which felt foreign to me, and I didn't have much unpluckable at this rating, so my main source of offense was still coming out of that post scoring bag. So the build continued to evolve slowly, but at this point I felt even more confident, especially since the mid-range bag was there, and I also could throw on the jump shot with JT Thor base, which I was very used to. So I wasn't moving at any quick speeds, and I didn't have moves that could create crazy separation or even give me a good speed boost, so I really had to rely on reading my defender and scoring with the intent of what is the defense giving me. After a full day of running pro-am on a 65 though, I felt we were doing a good job so far. Fast forward to the next day, we were really starting to get comfortable, and we were able to replicate some of the gameplay that we saw throughout the playoffs by the Celtics. On this day though, we were playing some tough teams and heavy meta lineups, but since we had JB and JT, we were able to matchup hunt that little guard with no defense. This would be the strategy to go on, as me and JB could both get a bucket, so one lockdown could never guard both of us. We also had KP getting comfortable with hitting consistently, so the big man couldn't drop at all, leaving that little guard on an island having to guard a variety of different moves. And I have to say, after maturing in my 2K timeline, this is definitely a fun and smart way to play, because I'm honestly so tired of seeing the same point guard, lockdown, big man lineup year after year, and I really think that's a big portion of why the game feels so stale to most people. That's really why I stopped playing Park. I used to be a big Park head, but Park literally feels like Stage because every lineup is just an offensive juggernaut PG with no defense that hides in the corner with the lockdown that guards ball with all defense and sits corner. Then he has the popper big man that sits in the other corner, and it just gets repetitive. But with this lineup, I'm not mad if those lineups pull up on us because I can have a field day with the guard guarding me. I can dribble in his face, back him down, throw him out the way. If I kick out, I can get those offensive rebounds over him. It's just so enjoyable making these dudes quit and hopefully pushing them to try a new offensive strategy. And no matter where the little guard goes, he's gonna be in trouble because me and JB and KP can all get to our own bucket. And on a good game, you can't help off of anybody because anybody can hit an open catch and shoot shot. So after running these pro-am games, unfortunately JB got off for a little bit, and then we ran to the theater, me and Porzingis, and it was still the same outcome. I was able to dribble the rock if my defender wasn't good at defense or didn't have high steal. I was able to speed boost and create my own shot with the pro dribble style. I was able to get offensive rebounds, able to kick back out to Porzingis. I was able to score in the post, and I was able to do a bunch of different things at such a low overall because we upgraded the cheap stuff first that was still very valuable. You can shoot on a low 3-point rating if you have the right jump shot. You can get the right jump shot by getting a high to mid 70s mid-range, and if you have a mid to high 70s mid-range, you can shoot off the fade or off the dribble with dribble pull-ups from the mid-range. And with that post scoring back, it's so cheap, but you get so many good valuable badges from that. We then started to work on this bingo card for the bingo card event because you get 20k VC if you fill out the whole thing. So we started in theater to bust out some of these challenges, and we were even upgrading our player on the journey to filling out the bingo card because we were winning a lot more than we were losing. I was able to get an 84 mid-range for gold mini magician and a 71 perimeter defense for bronze challenger. I was able to have my releases exactly how I have them on my other account, with 70% being Troy Brown Jr. and 30% being Cal Korver. And with the 84 mid-range, I was really getting comfortable with shooting from anywhere on the court, having a mid-range bag with the 84 mid-range, but also having my releases that I want and the Pro 2 dribble pull-up fade that I have on now. I was really starting to get comfortable, especially in the theater against those boys. And I was even able to max out my strength to an 86 to start working on the gold back down punisher. Now I don't have overdrive on this account to any extent, and I don't have any floor setters, so I'm grinding all of these badges from bronze. So I have to make sure I'm using these badges in game, game to game, to make sure I'm getting good progression on them. So this is like a week in, and since I'm getting my attributes up and being able to score off the dribble, I feel even better now that I labbed up those post moves so I can mix those two playstyles together. A lot of people are still saying if you can't L2 cancel or left stick cancel, don't make a no speed with ball build, but I'm not really doing either of those, and I'm still able to be a dominant scorer because I can score in a variety of different ways. These tall NBA players aren't moving fast with the ball, so I feel like if you're trying to replicate NBA footage, you don't need speed with ball to replicate most NBA players, outside of those shifty guards at least. But outside of that topic, we are evolving this Jason Tatum build, and since we're working towards that 20k VC and earning good VC while doing it, we are really starting to move in our progression on this build. And the funny thing is, 2K gave me 20k VC after completing the bingo card, but when I loaded up the next day after the event ended, they gave me another 20k VC for some reason. So I don't know if it was supposed to be like that or what, but hey, I'll take it. So after we got all that VC in just the span of like 2 days, we really jumped up in overall on this build, and I was able to get everything that I wanted already out of this Jason Tatum build in just a couple weeks. But outside of that, man, this is just part one of this journey, and I'm sitting pretty at an 81 overall purple plate. I wanted to be sure to show you guys my attributes as well as my animations and jump shot. Don't forget JMax streams all of our games when I run with him on all of our no money spent builds, so be sure to tune in to those and possibly even run with us if we do run in the rec. Now let me know down in the comments if you've done a no money spent build yet, and let the chat know your experiences while doing it. But that wraps up this part one video. Just know this took weeks to get together, so show some love and support on today's video. As always, thank you guys and thank God for everything I have today, and be sure to be grateful for all of the blessings that are in your life. Don't make the mistake of waiting to be happy until you complete or obtain something. Be happy today. And with all that being said, man, it's been Koza, and I'm out.